Comfortable win then for Liverpool through to the next round. Here's Arne Slot, who inevitably was asked about Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Trent Alexander-Arnold, player of the match?
Yeah, not for the first time, I would say. Trent didn't have his best game against United, and that's everybody fell over him. At least it seemed like that. But for the rest of the season, he's been so good for us. So I like his performance a lot today. I liked his performance when he came in against Tottenham, and I like the reaction of the fans at Tottenham and today again as well.
What will that mean to him? We know the narrative around all this, but what will that mean to him, that support? Because you made a mention of it in your programme notes, and there was more support for him today from the fans.
Yeah, his game was also a bit better than last week, so might have something to do with that. But I think our fans always have given him a lot of support, and that game he didn't play really well, and then fans react to that, and because he has a contract situation, everybody is then saying it's about the contract, but probably it was about the fact that he simply didn't play his best game. And if Trent just plays what we expect from him and what the fans expect from him, then he gets the support where the Liverpool fans are known for.
It's a double bubble for Mark today, because not only was it Manchester City, he was up early at the Liverpool game as well. Trent Alexander-Arnold inevitably once again getting the headlines, but this time for positive reasons, Mark.
Yeah, he scored a great goal and had a good game, but again we have to put it into the context that we played against a team from League Two, Accrington Stanley. And
Arne Slot mentioned the fans. From the Liverpool fans you spoke to, Mark, what's the general consensus on Alexander-Arnold?
I think the majority think he's going to go. I think,
right.
And the majority are fairly kind of relaxed about the idea that he's given great service to Liverpool, but there's a minority that think that as a homegrown player he should give Liverpool a bit more, give Liverpool a fee, I guess, or show more loyalty. But at the end of the day, he's given Liverpool great service over that period of time. He's won everything, and if he wants to go to Real Madrid at the age of 26, 27, why shouldn't he? He's earned the right. So I think the majority are on his side. I think the one thing that he needs to be careful of is that I think because he's a homegrown player, he's from Liverpool, and the fans have given him everything over the years, it's just a bit more honesty, a bit more straightforwardness. If he's going to leave, just say, look, I've had a great time at Liverpool, I want to fulfil an ambition by playing somewhere else. I think he'd get those sceptics back on side, but that hasn't happened yet. He's been very quiet, but I just think that kind of be a bit more straightforward with the fans, just be honest and tell them what's happening.
Accrington Stanley, obviously, very different to Manchester United.
No, and to go back to that point with Oggy, it's unlikely he's going to go in January, not impossible, but unlikely. So it's looking like the summer, and I think most of us get it.
Right.
Real Madrid, free transfer, all the glitz and glamour that comes with that. Who, as a player, could blame him? And I think the majority of fans understand that. There is always an element that you can just never convince them that anybody should leave their club. But I think what's important for him is that if that's a decision that he's made in his mind, and it is the summer, that he finishes strong. Whether Liverpool win the league or not, I don't know, but he finishes strongly. He doesn't meander into this sort of lackadaisical performance that we saw in the Old Trafford, the game against Man United, at Anfield. And no matter what Arne Slot says, it wasn't just a bad game. There was an attitude issue as well. When you watched how he approached some of the sort of one-to-one defending. And I think it's important for him, for his own sanity, that if he does finish the last 4 or 5 months of the season like how he played the first 4 or 5 months of the season, and Liverpool are successful and he's been brilliant, he can absolutely walk away and go, hey, who can blame me for this? But if he gets himself into a rut, and that is possible, then that's going to look bad on him, it's going to look bad on everybody, and it's really going to taint this final period at the football club for him. So I don't know how it's all going to pan out, but I'd like to see him play the second half of the season, how we saw him play 99.9% of the first half, which was excellent.
It would be impossible, wouldn't it, to him to avoid that criticism that he got very loudly, very widespread after the United game?
Look, for me, regardless of how the rest of the season plays out, Trent is going to go down as one of Liverpool's greatest players, at least in the top 10, 20 players in Liverpool's history, in my opinion. And yes, I agree that...
But you want to keep that level going?
Absolutely,
right.
Absolutely. But I think for me, he should keep it going for no one but himself, like you say.
Correct.
That's the most important, because he wants to look at himself in the mirror when he's, let's say he goes to Madrid.
Yep.
And he wants to wake up and say, you know what, I gave him
I could
everything.
do no more.
I could do no more.
What do you make of the criticism that he's great going forward but can't defend?
When you're that good at something, in anything in life, I think you cannot be good at everything. Otherwise,
Well, Craig, except
for Burley.
Yeah.
But he can defend. But this is a myth. He's never going to be the best defender.
Right. But it's the effort in the United game.
Yeah, the effort was, for me, in the United game, it was almost like he was annoyed by the talk and the negativity that was sort of seeping his way from some saying, you're abandoning the club. I think that got in his head a little bit, and it was a mixture of everything. But he can defend. Not the best defender, but he can defend. But his problem is there's a sort of switch off in there that just doesn't think about his position in relative terms to his other centre-backs, his position to his wide guy or a runner. And where he, so he kind of has these moments where I think he just switches off for a split second or two, and when you're playing at that level, your mind goes somewhere else for a little bit, bang, somebody's in that space. So it's not the fact he can defend one-on-one, because I've seen him do it. I think it's just the fact every now and again, defensively, he just has this little switch off and he gets caught out.
I think he's defended a lot better this season.
I think so.
I think he has.
Apart from last week.
Mark's freezing, so I've got a couple more things.
Oh, well, let's keep him going.
Mark, I'm sorry, mate. Right, let's start off. Chiesa scoring today. Is there any chance that Liverpool are looking to let him go? Because this hasn't worked at all, has it?
Yeah, I just don't think so, Dan, because they've been lucky with injuries so far this season.
Interesting news today surrounding his future. This is what Antonio Conte had to say about the young starlet. He said he asked the club to be sold without mincing his words. This is what was said to me. The player has confirmed his decision to me. Personally, I feel very disappointed because I spent 6 months trying to make him feel at the centre of the project, working with him, showing him that we could do something great, and also working with the club for 6 months on the renewal. It's a renewal that looks like it definitely will not happen, Mark. There have been some links to Liverpool, but it seems to be PSG is almost done and dusted, yeah?
Yeah, I think PSG's 9-10's done, so I think I'd be very surprised if Liverpool came into it now. Arne Slot was asked about Kvaratskhelia a couple of days ago, and he was very kind of neutral in his answer. He didn't rule it out, but he didn't play it up too much either. But I think that one, it looks like Kvaratskhelia to PSG all but done, so I don't think he's going to Anfield.
Last person. There wouldn't be a weekend without Marcus Rashford being discussed. So with Kvaratskhelia leaving, Mark, is there any chance that he could go to Napoli, because Italy seems to be the destination for Rashford?
So there is an outside chance of Napoli. Now, Napoli have been one of these clubs that have been, interested in Rashford. Now, over the last week or so, the Rashford camp has been almost like touring, with respect, Europe's B-list clubs. That they're not going to the clubs that are the top, AC Milan, Monaco, Borussia Dortmund. These are sideways moves for Marcus Rashford, and so far none of these clubs have been prepared to take a chance. He's overpaid in terms of what he earns right now. He's on a huge salary, £320,000 a week. He's not playing very well, so it's a really hard sell for any club to take him off United's hands. United know this, they're struggling to get rid of him. So Napoli, now that they get Kvaratskhelia off their wage bill, maybe get some money from PSG, there is a potential that Napoli could come in and certainly pay some of Rashford's wages on a loan move. They've had success with Scott McTominay this year, Billy Gilmour, so perhaps Antonio Conte also knows Rashford from the Premier League, but I'm not quite sure that Conte and Rashford are a match made in heaven. But it is an opportunity for Rashford that could open up because Napoli have got some money coming in.
Brilliant. Where are you tomorrow, Mark?
I'm kind of defrosting at home, I think, tomorrow.
I think you're very much well deserved, Mark. Thank you very much for Manchester United. Of course, next up for them is Arsenal tomorrow.